Okay, so now let's move away from the world of sports and move into the Infocus segment. What are we talking about today? We're talking about tourism. I know earlier in my intro I was asking you how many tourist sites you've been to right here in Ghana. So this is the Infocus segment where we're going to talk about embracing, domestic tourism right here in Ghana. And joining me in the studios, I have two great personalities who are going to help me delve into the topic for today. And right here, I have beside me Stanley Ati. He's the Standard and Quality Assurance Officer at Ghana Tourism Authority. And right here again, I have Reverend Mrs. Francisca Gift Kukwa Nyanebabwache. She's the president for the Ghana Tourism Authority Ladies Club. So they are here in the studios with me. We're going to have a conversation about embracing domestic tourism. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Really humbled having you right here in the studios.
Same
here. One thing I picked up or I noticed is with your outfit, it's like you're representing Ghana. Yeah, all in the African print thing. And so, again, good morning and welcome to the studios of Hstv.
Good morning. Thank you.
Great. Now, I'm going to start off with Madam Francisca. We've been talking about tourism, and it's something we can never do away with. And even talking about the local governance, I'm told it brings revenue to the country. Looking back into your data and running through from now, do you think we're really appreciating tourism right here in Ghana?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's good to be on the show this morning, and good morning to all. Tourism is a multifaceted industry. When tourism grows, other industry grows.
Course, yeah.
And when advantage on tourism is taken seriously, it means that what other industries are also doing is taken in seriously. For instance, when a tourist comes to a country or a destination, the tourist will buy food, the tourist will sleep, the tourist will drive, the tourist would find entertainment. And I've mentioned about 3 industries. So when you take tourism seriously, means you are taking every industry seriously. So the growth of tourism is dependent on the growth of other industries, because tourism depends on the other industries to strive, and is a win-win hand-in-hand game. So when tourism is striving, it means we are all winning. So in Ghana, now that we are all embracing and we are all understanding what tourism is to us, we are all benefiting from it. As low as the people selling pure water, the street vendors are also benefiting, because when you travel outside the country, the way we market our goods and we do our things is different. So when a tourist comes to this country and he sees that, oh, there are different varieties of food being sold on the streets, they want to patronize it. And somebody will just be excited that Ubrunia told me, told me pure water. And he will just be elated and happy with it. And it's a win game. So moving away from the restaurants, moving away from the hotels, moving away from the nightclubs, the informal sector are also benefiting. You understand? So when you talk about tourism, tourism is not an isolated industry, it's an amalgamated industry, which when it wins, everyone wins. Yeah, so we are the tourism authority are doing our best to let every Ghanaian understand that this is not just for Ghana Tourism Authority, but it's a collective game. And tourism is an oasis of wealth where you can benefit, I can benefit. For instance, a tourist sees you in this nice edifice, myself and Stanley, he would want to wear same, meaning my seamstress at Kwashiman Corner is getting
something out of it.
Money out of it. Yeah, and we are also hoping that domestic tourism will strive, because before I come to your country, you should also know your country. And Ghana belongs to all of us, so the Ghanaians should be able to move to the north, to visit the north. Even in Accra, if you live in Adabraka, you should be able to go to Kwabenya to see what's in Kwabenya. That is why we are also promoting domestic tourism alongside the international tourism. So somewhere last 2 years, we brought the Accra tour, Accra City tour. And we have, if you remember, when we were kids, there was this Ka Auntie Dede.
Auntie Dede.
King of Kings, Auntie Dede. And I'll leave Stanley to talk more on that.
Okay.
And that thing is helping. Churches are renting to see Accra City. And it will surprise you what the story of Bukom, the story of Saraga Market, the story of Kolegon, the story of Abusokai, all those things we don't know. And to preserve heritage, we need to tell the story today. Do you understand?
That's
so I leave it to Stanley to add on.
Stanley, before you add up to, I think we're getting into quite an interesting side of it. You know, moving into Ghana, because she made mention that the first thing these tourists come when they see has to be our food, the clothes we wear and all that. But do you think Ghana we're representing very well? Anytime we have a tourist coming in, are we selling ourselves enough to these people?
Well, I think we are trying our best. Let me just put it that way. Because looking at the things we are doing as Ghanaians, on a whole, we are trying to make sure that Ghana is being represented fairly well. But you realize that during the month of March, we tend to advertise or sell Ghana very well because we have all given it the title Heritage Month. So we tend to wear our native clothes to work. We tend to eat our local food. Almost all the media spaces try to say one thing or do something to make sure Ghana is represented. Apart from the month of March, you realize that all the other months are just latent. So we tend not to represent the other things we can do. And you know, there are diverse things that we can do in all the other months. So if, for instance, we can pick it on monthly basis and represent our country on those things, then we can do something unique to promote it very well. So I'll say that we are doing it, but there's more room for improvement, like my GSS teacher will say. So we should just inculcate certain things to grow it very well. So if for the first month we are doing rep your clothes or your native clothes, and we can do your food in another month, we can do your poetry or other things that comes with it on other occasions. I think that one too also help. So repping the country, we are doing well, but there's more room. There's more room. We can do more.
Okay. So I want to come to you, Madam Francisca. Now, I know definitely there's going to be a data, there's going to be a tally that's going to tell how these places are being visited enough. And now we're talking about domestic tourism that has to do with the places we have right here in Ghana. Looking at the tally, looking at the data, do you think Ghanaians have visited these places enough? And where do you think has the highest, number of visits?
Our research department at the Ghana Tourism Authority have been collecting data both internationally and locally. And they are doing their best to make sure that these data are correct and are accurate. Currently, I'll say it's Kakum, and then mostly now in Accra is the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. Because we've renovated it, we've added more to it. That is it about tourist sites. The more we see the same place, it becomes boring. But when you renovate, you add more to it, and then now it ramps. So the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, just like I said, that Accra City Tour is giving the Memorial Park more tourist inflow, and the rates and the numbers are going up. The same way with the revenue being generated. And you know, everybody in Africa and the world at large likes Kwame Nkrumah and wants to know more about Kwame Nkrumah. So now the place is not just the three traditional places that we used to know. That's the mausoleum, the museum, and then the park. We've added more. There's a restaurant there. Because when you go and you see all those places, you would want to eat. There is a photo gallery of the man. Yes, there is a park for you to interact. So the park itself, we've even enhanced it. There is a certain area, you could have a wedding, you could have a baby naming ceremony, you could have an event. So we've revamped it, and it's beautiful now. And I urge you to go there to see the place, it. Well, it's just a walking distance.
I like to talk about maintenance culture. is something that we're lacking as Ghanaians, and anytime we could see things being revamped, we could see buildings being pulled up, but when it comes to maintenance culture, it's something we're really struggling right here in Ghana. And talking about the Ghana Tourism Authority, what are you doing about this whole thing? What should Ghanaians also do to, you know, ensure we are maintaining these places very well?
Like I said, tourism is not an isolated industry. So when you come to Ghana Tourism Authority, our department is such that it's not only about people that study tourism, but it's a collective industrial expertise. So we have the planning, development, and investment department who are tasked to make sure that they have the expertise to make sure the maintenance culture, not even from their side, but from our side also, is being maintained. So we realized that one of the devil fighting the tourism industry is maintenance, because you go revamp and the place is not the same as it is. And you know, in tourism you need to conserve, and conservation is like the Kakum National Park, the Mule National Park. We need to conserve the animals, the trees, all the living and non-living things. And that one, you wouldn't need a tourism practitioner. You need somebody else with that expertise. So our planning and development department, as well as GTDC, the Ghana Tourism Development Company, are in charge of those things to ensure that all these maintenance, we may say at first it wasn't really as it should be because the attraction sites were not regulated by the GTA. But our new airline gives us the mandate as Standard and Quality Assurance Department to inspect and ensure standards in this attraction site. So in view of that, we have control to regulate it. So we make sure we go for yearly inspection, monitoring, assessing, and ensuring that what has been revamped is being done well.
All right. So viewers, as you can see on the screens, we have some beautiful sites being displayed right there. And so right in the studios, I have here with me Stanley Ati. Here is the Standard and Quality Assurance Officer at the Ghana Tourism Authority. And again, we have Reverend Mrs. Francisca Gift Kukua Yane Babwache. She is the Ghana Tourism Authority Ladies Club President. We're talking about embracing domestic tourism. And then they have something interesting coming up very soon. But to remind you, we have our social media platforms active. That's Hstv Live GH. That's what we're doing, our live stream. And if you have any questions for them, they're right in the studios to answer them. And we've been able to touch on one or two things, and you have a fair idea when we talk about tourism, when we talk about maintenance culture. We all play a role in there to ensure that tourist sites are kept very well. Now, Stanley, let's just do some briefings on some places we have right here in Accra. My producer gave me some names from Adabraka. We have Nima. How all these names came into existence. Let's start off with Adabraka. I think we have Nima close to us. Adabraka is also closer. So let's start off with Adabraka. How did they all come about? Just give us a brief about these places.
Okay, so with Adabraka, it is said in history that the place used to be a Gan-dominated place. But the Hausa traders used to come around to come and sell their goods and services. So anytime the Gans go there to buy something, they ask for what we call in Gan Minwo, which is to sow. Yes, into sow in Chi. And then this into sow to the Hausa means a blessing. So they are adding their blessing on top. So blessing in the Hausa word means abraka.
Abraka.
Yes.
Okay.
So abraka is known. So the Gans were known to always buy something and ask for abraka.
Okay.
So with time, they started referring to the people that were coming to ask for extra toppings as the abraka people.
Okay.
And it has been changed today to the name we have as Adabraka. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I know some people are like raising their eyebrows. Okay, so there's the whole, let me say, interpretation behind the name coming into Adabraka. Now let's move into Nima too.
So Nima is not too far away from the people that were living in Adabraka. You know that these people, the Hausa people, were, let me say, people that traders that migrate from somewhere. Anytime their goods are finished, they move back to their place, go fetch more and come. with time, they started to stay more with the gangs in Adabraka. The gangs realized that that's creating a bit of problem for them. And they wanted their people not to have certain acculturations in their culture. So they decided that then if that's the case, they will speak to their king, which was King Takiteria, the very popular one we know. And then he decided that he will give them a place within Accra, not too far away from the people. So he moved them to the place where they are, we call Nima. So the place was Nice Town. Nice Town. And today, Niman, which is to mean Nice Town, was the place they settled. So Ni gave them a place, and they named the place Nice Town. And today we all call it Nima, which is to mean Nice Town, but we all don't know the meaning. Exactly.
Interesting. So we're having quite an interesting one. Probably if you want get interpretation for where you live. I know we have Dansuman, we have Mataheko. These people are very stubborn. So I know we dance my few.
Okay, so almost all the places that end with man are all the town in Ghana. So man, Nima, Dakuman, Dansuman, Kwashiman. It is said that the first person that settled there, or one of the most popular people that settled there, as way as commuters to know where they were going. So they use it as their landmark. So when I'm going to Dansuman and I want to alight somewhere, I let people know that I'm going to where Danso is. So Dansukru, Dansuman became the popular town that today we mentioned. As well, Kwashiman, because Kwashi was popular or was known to have settled in that place, we use that place as a landmark to say, I'm going to where Kwashi is. So Kwashiman. And the man is just town in Ghana. So any man, in addition to a name, you know that then that's it.
It's a town. Interesting submissions right here. Madam Felicia, now Francisco, sorry. Let's come to you and talk about the activities coming in from the Ghana Tourism Authority. I know there's an interesting package you have this time on.
Okay, thank you very much. So just like my brother said earlier, we wanted to move beyond the Heritage Month to make sure that Ghana is celebrated every day. So last year we had a maiden program called Rep Your Region, where staffs of GTA across the nation are given opportunity to display their cultural heritage in terms of language, dance, and display the various cuisines in their hometowns, and then also to ensure that we preserve our cultural heritage by letting it known now. So we did the program in March, but this year we realized, just like Stanley was saying, that the focus is on March, but let's go beyond the March. Just like in 2019, we did Year of Return, and we went, now we have Beyond the Return. So the Ladies Club, it was just a Ladies Club program, but God being so good and God being on our side, our whole men and the whole management of GT embraced it, and it's down on our calendar as Rep Your Region. And this year is going to be very exciting. We've coiled it into a whole big program called Feast of Ghana, and it's a 3 days event. So you see, the small thing to just represent your region has now developed into a big thing. And so we'll start off on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, that's 17th, with your Rep Your Region and the luncheon of the Feast of Ghana. So if you hear Feast of Ghana, it means it's food. You understand? And next week, Monday, is the celebration of 25th anniversary, the Silver Jubilee of Otumfo, all the way in Kumasi. And it's also another feast of Ghana, but this time Ashanti region, going to showcase the farm produce. Because trust me, some of the farm produce we have in Ghana is literally dying. We are just focusing on the known ones, the maize, the yam, the cassava, but there are still cocoyam. When last did you see cocoyam? You get it?
It's been a while,
Good. But it's a very, very nutritious food. Boko boko, if you remember boko boko. Boko boko is literally the same value as kontomire, but we focused on kontomire. Boko boko is dying out. Akoko Mesa. Do you remember Akoko Mesa?
Yeah, they used to, when our moms are making the
Good
chicken soup, they put it in, yeah.
But Akoko Mesa is dying out. You understand? Abrofon Kati. I remember when I was a kid in Dakoma, we would go around to take Abrofon Kati. You crack it and the nuts, and it was very nutritious. So what the Queen Mothers in Ashanti region are trying to do is to showcase the various unique farm produce that the Ashanti Kingdom has. And I pray that next year, the other 16 regions will embrace it so that we all educate ourselves and remind ourselves of what we have in this nation. So we don't lose some of the farm products. Because when we advertise it, it gives farmers opportunity to grow varieties. So they don't focus on the known ones, but varieties. And when you have varieties, it means other sources of income as well. You get it. And on the 1st of May is the grand ceremony of the whole Feast Ghana. And we've merged with the Public Service Union to celebrate it with the May Day. Because who else can drive this than the workers of this nation? So both the informal and formal sectors. So that celebration will be at the Accra Conference Center. But on Wednesday, which is the beginning of the Feast Ghana, is the GTA Ladies Club Rep-Your Region, which is now GTA Rep-Your Region. And we are going to celebrate our various towns. I'm a Fanti, representing the Fantis from the Central Region. And you can trust me that when you come to our stand, you get the Inchicho fine. You get from Kaswa to Winneba to Apam to Cape Coast to Elmina. We showcase everything there, and our good ladies, nicely dressed like myself, there, will display our culture. He knows his region will be last, so, so that's how he's laughing.
Well, mostly it's a competition. And because, you know, we have raised the bar to a certain pedestal. And she knows that with that, she was nowhere close to us last year. And you can imagine if you've raised the bar yourself, the height you can go beyond that. So I won't be here to, you know,
blab and say too much.
Exactly. I'll just leave it to the D-Day, which is the 17th of April, come this Wednesday. We'll be there. We'll make sure they are last again, don't worry.
But before we wrap the whole thing up, let's just go back a little bit. You know, there's been this back and forth in the northern region. And moving into the northern region too, we have a lot of authority siting there. And you being the Ghana Tourism Authority, how do you feel, you know, anytime you move into the news, you see, you know, clash between people living in this area? Stanley, I don't know what you think about it.
Well, it's very devastating when we hear such news. The reason being that tourism is just like a web. So as a web, it touches almost every part of everything. So when we hear certain things, and it thrives on peace and security. So where there is no peace and security somewhere, it's very difficult for you as a person to even move in there. Not to talk about those that will come down. Before you even go somewhere, the intent starts with what you've conceived in mind. So you start to make research about the place you are going. Then you book yourself down, you narrow it down to certain attractions you would want to visit, certain things you want to participate in. Now when there's where there's no peace, you can't go. Because you look at the dangers you are likely to put yourself into. And tourism, you are going there to have fun. You are going there to create memories that you know that you will come back to come and share to your family, to relatives, to friends. And then this, you locked up in a place where you wouldn't like. It will destroy tourism. And we are seeing that it creates revenue, it creates jobs for even as low as the street vendor. So you imagine that you are not going, or someone is not going because of peace and security, then you've deprived other people of resources, you've deprived them of their jobs, and they can even get involved in other social biases that we do not want. So we would want to also use this platform, no matter where you find yourself in the country, in spite of our differences or diversities, we are supposed to always make sure that peace and tranquility exist, so that we can all live well and people can practice the domestic tourism, because it has been on our calendar this is not the first. And you hear almost everything about tourism we say now. We say see Ghana, eat Ghana, feel Ghana, and wear Ghana. That's why today we are wearing Ghana. Unfortunately, we are not speaking Ghana. But that's fine. But that's fine. Because we want to use also this avenue to make sure that communication is going far, and as much we are also doing the things that are needed of us in the tourism field or sector.
Interesting. So come Wednesday, the 17th of April, where is it happening?
Accra Tourist Information Center, just opposite Afikiko.
Afikiko.
Just come. It's a free event. Come and join us. The Queen Mothers from Ashanti region are joining. Other tourism agencies are joining us. And we want the general public to come and join us. The good thing about this program is that it's a celebration and at the same time also a learning place. Because you see the varieties of food that are being displayed. And when even you go home, you can try it on. And it's a free thing. There will be music, there will be dance, there will be food. It's starting from 9 till 5 p.m. And the tip on the iceberg this year is the cooking competition. We have Promasidor and Tasty Tom sponsoring us. So imagine Fanta's cooking with the Airways. Who will win? So just come and see it. You get it? There will be display of some cultures were displayed last year that I didn't know even existed. And this year also there will be a display of that. So whilst we are having fun, we are celebrating, we are learning. And we are preserving. So whatever you are doing is a whole day's event. Pass through, take a bite, take a drink, take a picture, feel the fun. Let's preserve our nation. The only people who can preserve our nation is those of us living now.
All right. So right in the studios, I've had with me Stanley Ati. He is the Standard and Quality Assurance Officer at Ghana Tourism Authority, and also Reverend Mrs. Francisca Gift to Kukwa Yane Babwache. She's the president for the Ghana Tourism Authority's Ladies Club. And come Wednesday, 17th April, happening at the Ghana Tourism Center right at Afikiko. Let's move in there, celebrate Ghana, eat Ghana, wear Ghana, and feel Ghana, and also change the narrative when we talk about tourism right here. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio today. Okay, so before we wrap it all up, let's do some birthday wishes before we wrap up. So happy birthday to Reverend David Rich Paha, head pastor of ICGC Discovery Temple. The same, may God continue to bless and favor him. This is coming from Wendy Na Dede Sampa, producer of Ultimate Sport. Again, happy birthday going out to Reverend David Rich Paha, head pastor of ICGC Discovery Temple, coming in from Nadede Sampa, producer of Ultimate Sport. She say, may God continue to bless and favor you. So moving away from that, let's go straight to another birthday to Winfred Dakwa Bamfo. Happy birthday to you, Winfred Dakwa Bamfo. Long life with good health and prosperity from your uncle and the wife, Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin Odoi, and also from your little siblings. We say we love you, baby girl. So again, happy birthday to Winifred Dankwa Bamfo, from your uncle and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin Odoi, and also from your little siblings. They are all wishing you a happy birthday. Okay, so lastly, let me take our last birthday. So to my dear son Jason, on your birthday, I want you to know that you are loved and cherished more than words can say, and may you be head but not the tail. Happy birthday from your dad Ezekiel to you, Jason. That's Jason right on the screen. So coming from your dad, he's wishing you a happy birthday. God bless you so much, Jason. All right, so viewers, this will wrap it up on the Monday edition of Healthy Morning. To remind you, we stream live on our social media platform, Hstv Live GH. My name is James Urafi. Have a blessed morning wherever you are.
It be my identity. I will rule my destiny.